Hey, 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 how are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome to another Friday with me, Michelle Green, with Credit and Financial Tips. We are so excited that you are here. Make sure that you go ahead and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. If you are following us anywhere, follow us on Kingdom Builders, Credit Repair. Everywhere. That's right. We are KB Michelle Green. We are Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, and I am the founder of the company, and I'm here today to give you some credit and financial tips. Now, before we get started, if this is your first time watching, go ahead and leave a comment below and tell us about what you are learning as we get into today's message. But before we get started, what we do every single Friday is talk about what is credit so that we will have a foundation to start from. So, what is credit? Credit is the ability for any person, if we don't have the money right now today, that we have the ability to go ahead and borrow the money from somebody or someplace. And usually when we deal with credit, it is from a financial institution of some sort, a bank or credit union or some place that is going to lend us money. So that's where we get the term lender or creditor from. And what we normally want people to understand about credit is it's not really complicated as we may think it is. What it really is just when we don't have enough money to pay for the things that are already on our credit, then we have the ability to borrow the money from someone that is going to lend us those funds. So if we're trying to buy a car, we have the ability to borrow enough money to buy the vehicle. If we are buying a house, we have enough money to borrow from the lender or creditor to buy our purchase our home. So if we are trying to do a credit card, a personal loan, a furniture loan, or anything of any type of debt where we are going to contract ourselves with that financial institution, with that lender or creditor, then we have the ability to be able to borrow the money until we can pay all of the money back. So it allows us the opportunity to be able to get a lump sum of money. And once we get that lump sum of money, we're able to break it up in increments, in installments, in other words. And those installments per month allow us eventually, with interest, to pay back the money that we borrowed. So that's what credit is essentially in a nutshell. For those of us that think it's complicated, it's really not complicated. If we start out at 18 years old and we know that we don't make enough money right now today in order for us to what? Be able to buy what it is that we need or what it is that we want, then we have to go into borrowing the money from a creditor or a lender. That's what we have to do. So today we are talking about in the realm of credit. We are talking about our credit or our debt from an aspect of our health. Yes, that's right. See, our health is so important to us as it relates to our credit and our finances. And it's so important because if we don't have the right type of health, then we're always going to be indebted to a creditor or lender or to a collection agency of some sort. So, what I want us to understand about the whole credit process, okay, this credit game, is that when we are thinking about credit, we have to really begin to stop and think, where does this all begin? So if we start out just like I just said, when we think about what credit is, let's think about starting out as an individual. You as a person, when was the first time you took on your very first job, and what was the condition of your health at that time? Let's think about it. As my son says, I like the way you think, Michelle. He always saying he likes the way he thinks. So I'm going to say, I like the way I think. So when we think about our health, when we think about how to have a healthy wallet, it's because we equal a healthy life, a healthy lifestyle. So, what is our health condition when we first start working versus our health condition right now today, or our health condition by the time we stop working in the workforce and retire and decide that we are no longer going to be in the field of working, but we're going to be on the recipient end of receiving money so that we can still maintain the things that we have as credit and maintain the things that we have as utilities. So let's think about that for a second. That's something that most of the time we don't even consider. We don't consider the truth that when we first start working in the workforce and we're thinking about these finances, we're thinking about all the things that we have accrued as an account now on our credit, and those things transferred into an account on our credit have a lump sum of money attached to it that we're only focused on the fact that we got to pay this money back. And some of us aren't even focused on paying the money back, but that's a whole different conversation for another day. For the ones that are focused on paying the money back, we focus too deeply on just paying the money back. And we really neglect our health as it relates to our credit. How many different accounts do you have with lump sums is usually the focal point of our mind when it relates to the things that come on our credit, the accounts that we actually have. We don't really consider how many times we have impacted our health based on our focal point of those debts. So, what happens usually with our health in relation to our credit is that our health begins to decline because we have neglected our health. I know when I was younger, we could go, I could go for long periods of time. I could last pretty much, I could work a 12 to 16-hour shift as I was in the workforce as an employee. And then after I started doing my own business and I actually became a full-time entrepreneur in the area of finances as a financial advisor, in the area of actually opening my business as a credit repair company and all of the nonprofits that we've established, as well as the other business, which is the business university. When I look back at the time that I have put into the workforce of earning a living, I can honestly say that I care less about my health. So, why am I having this conversation with you? Because we are pretty much all in a state of panic right now. We're in a state of panic because we've had in the United States of America the opportunity for the government to shut down again. And some of us are now recovering from it, and some of us are not recovering from it. But if you look at the root of the whole equation of debt, the reason why most of us have so much debt is because we ignore our health. We ignore the ability for us to be able to establish having a good financial future. We ignore the fact that we can even have a good present future or present moment with our credit. We ignore the fact that no matter what stage in life we are in, no matter what age we are, no matter what background we come from, no matter where we're living in the world, we usually neglect our health, and the health is a direct correlation to what? Our finances. So if you don't handle your health, if you're not going to the doctor to see the eye doctor, then there's going to be a breakdown in the things that you see. So your perception is going to change. If you don't go to the ear doctor to make sure your ears are good and that your hearing is well, then that's going to be a breakdown in being able to follow instructions so that you can work a job, so that you can pay those bills. And not only that, it is just detrimental to your well being overall, and you live in a really abundant life with your being, with your health, with your actual body. So when we think about our health, if we take care of our mouth, sometimes we have dental work that needs to be taken care of, and we are sitting around on the job in pain. How many of us out there are doing that right now? Okay, we are sitting there in pain and we are neglecting the fact that we got to go to work versus go to the dentist. Okay, the dentist is always going to precede going to work. Why? Because if you don't take care of your health, eventually there won't be an income. And if there's not an income, then there is no credit that you can gain in the future, as well as the things that you already currently have will eventually be either repossessed or foreclosed on. They will be taken from you. So, as it relates to medical debt, I'm looking at the overall perspective. Being a financial advisor as well as being a credit analyst, I look at the overall perspective of all of our clients and how many people are in medical trouble. When I say medical trouble, I'm referring to the breakdown that how many of us have truly ignored our health and went to a extent of allowing our health to get so bad that we would have to have an emergency surgery, that we would end up in an accident because we're not seeing, we're not hearing, we're not actually eating right. So maybe our body is dehydrated and we end up in an accident where we end up in a bad relationship and we are being abused. Our health is impacted every time we neglect it. And not just our health being impacted, but our finances are being impacted every time we neglect our health. So when we look at the overall perspective of our clientele base and we look at the actual financial arena of how well things are progressing in the financial industry, what we are finding, what I am finding personally, is simply that people are accruing a lot of medical debt. And we're only accruing the medical debt because we don't understand that our finances do not come first. It is not more important for you to take care of a debt or a utility than it is for you to take care of your health first. So, what do we have to do in order to begin to shift that change? What are the ideas that we can come up with in order for us to impact our finances at the end of it all? And impact our relationships, to be able to impact our communities, or to just be able to live a better life ourselves. So, in order to do that, we need to really begin to rewind and focus on what is it that is really in need of attention right now. What part of your body is actually in need of attention at this very moment? Okay, so are you hurting in your back? Are you hurting in your feet? Are you standing on your feet at the job so long that now you got varicose veins? And you don't have the ability to stand as long as you used to because, see, like I just said, if you go back to when you first got that job, if you go back to the time that you first started working, then that is going to be an indicator that your health was in a much different condition than it is now. So that's the reason why back in the day you were able to do more. You were able to do a whole lot more, and you were more efficient and you were more effective. And now you may be on the job or you may be in the business and you're feeling like, I don't really care. Like, I don't care about these clients. I don't care about these customers. I don't even care about the people that I'm working with, because you have a breakdown, not in your finances so much as you do for your health. Even your mental health, your mental stability. I was talking to a friend yesterday, and a friend of mine was just telling me about all the different challenges that she had in her life that came about all of a sudden. It was something going on with her family, it was something going on in friendship, it was something going on in her, just in her life period altogether. So every one of her intimate relationships were impacted. And with this impact, she decided to take some time off from work. And that was one of the best things she could ever have said to me, because I was saying, like, my God, what you have been through is something that most people would end up in a mental institution for, because they wouldn't understand how to handle all of that at the same time. And in addition to that, what we want to think about related to our health, our wallets related to our health, is that eventually, if we ignore continuously this health problem that we have, of focusing on the money instead of focusing on the health of our well-being, we will end up in the grave. We will end up in the grave. That's right. We will not be even here available to even worry or concern ourselves with the finances or the debt. So, what am I saying to you? I am saying that we have to really begin to shift how we think about debt, how we think about finances, as the root problem being we have to not ignore our health anymore. When I say we cannot ignore our health, I am so serious about it. I will tell you, just for me alone, I think I've been through approximately 5 different surgeries before I finally began to wake up and realize that I am not a robot. I am not artificial intelligence. I am an actual human being. And in being a human being, I had to realize that I have a body that needs maintenance. It needs maintenance. It needs rest. That's right, the proper rest. And I'm pausing so that I can look you eyeball to eyeball to let you know that you're not getting enough rest. I know you're not. I know you are not sleeping through the night. I know that you're tossing and turning. I know that you're waking up in the middle of the night because I've already been down that road. And sometimes I still end up down that road, but I have to catch myself and remind myself that it's not more important for me to focus on the finances and all of the bills or the debts that are going on in my head that I have a responsibility for. What we have to learn how to do is get out in front of all of these credit items and all of these bills, these utilities that we are responsible for. And in order for us to get out in front of it, we really got to pay attention to our health. We can no longer be the kind of person that's going to decide that we are just going to put it on the back burner. We cannot be the kind of person that is going to decide that we are going to end up in a grave because we ignored the fact that we have a body that needs to be maintained. So let's think about it. Getting the proper rest. How many hours of rest do you get? What is your nutrition like? Do you eat healthy whole foods? Do you decide that you're just going to constantly eat that fast food every day because you're on the way to work? You just woke up, you didn't get enough rest, and you decided to just grab something really quick that was not nutritious for your body. When I say nutritious, is it something that is going to really benefit your body? Is it going to fuel your body and put your body back in a place where it is ready to move? And speaking of moving, do you exercise? What is your exercise workout habit like? Are you a person that is even moving at all, or are you sitting behind a computer screen all day and all night long? Are you the kind of person that is a couch potato? Are you the kind of person that your whole goal every single 24 hours is just for you to come home and sit on the couch? Or maybe you're working from home and the only thing that you desire is to get out of that business office chair and get on that couch or get in your bed. But getting in your bed with a screen still in front of your face. Did you know that you're not even supposed to have a screen on while you're trying to rest? That's right. How many of us have TVs in our bedrooms where it's going to cause us that bright light, that neon, that LED light is going to cause us to be drawn to keep looking and keep our brains awake. So how many of us go to sleep with the TV on? How many of us cannot be in complete silence and complete darkness in order for us to go to sleep? See, that is an indicator that we have put money, finances, credit above our health. That's an indicator right there. Let's get into a gym of some sort. Let's decide that we are going to move our bodies. We are going to exercise, even just standing up, touching your toes, stretching up to the ceiling, whatever you got to do, dancing, singing, moving, doing something where your body is physically getting fit. It's getting fit every 24 hours. You don't have to go to the gym and decide that you're going to become a person that's competing in a competition. You just need to be the kind of person that understands that in order for your finances to equal wealth, you got to take care of your health. Because wealth without health equals no wealth. Okay? Wealth without health equals you're not really wealthy. Okay, you're not even rich because you can't even enjoy the ability for you to be able to have done the things that you have done to get to the point where you got the money. So, what if you got the money? You don't have the health, you can't enjoy none of it. You can't even go anywhere. What if you're stuck in a wheelchair? What if you're stuck in a bed? That is not wealth. Okay, so we got to stop for a moment and really begin to think about what is really happening with our health. Because what we are finding is that all across the United States of America and all across the world, people are really negating taking care of their health. Like, seriously, think about it. You need the right nutrition. You need to get the right rest, the right amount of rest for you. Your rest may not be equal to your spouse or significant other or any other person on the face of this earth rest. But I can tell you this, when you get up from resting, your body should feel like you're ready to make some moves, like you're alert, you're aware, and you don't feel groggy. You don't feel like you need to go back to sleep. So, do you feel like that when you get the amount of rest that you say that you need? Or do you maybe need to figure out, do you need to get a little bit more rest? Are you eating whole foods? Are you eating processed foods? Are you eating whole foods? Foods that come right off the vine, foods that come right off of a tree. Are you eating and drinking water? Are you filling your body with the right minerals, the right nutrients, the right elements that it needs in order to be at full capacity, effective, and efficient? Or are you deciding that, oh, I'll get to that one day? And when that one day comes down the road, it's going to be at the hospital, in an emergency room, possibly even an accident. It's going to be a situation where whatever you neglected today is going to come back to bite you in the butt later. And that is why it's so crucial that we understand we got to take time to exercise. We got to take time to check on the maintenance of our hearing, the maintenance of our eyesight, the maintenance of our whole entire body. How efficient and effective are you? Are you able to run? Are you able to walk fast? Are you able to last for a long time? If your body is slowing down, it's trying to tell you that it's time for you to get a checkup within your body physically. Go to the doctor, go get some type of assistance, look up and research for yourself what it is that you need so that you can have the proper maintenance for your own body. That's right. And then what will happen is these medical bills from you having to go to the emergency doctor, to the emergency room, to the doctor, to a ER, whatever the case, all of that will subside. And then once we get rid of this medical debt, then we can begin to focus on our actual finances and our actual credit. We do not have the opportunity to focus on the finances and the credit if our health has declined, if our health is not right, if our health is not in tip top shape. Even in an average type of healthy body, we need to at least get to average if we're not going to get to the elite highest tier. We need to be able to move and have our own being. And then we can look at creating a real financial future. See, when we look at the amount of medical debt that's in the world today, even if we just break it down into the United States, we're already in about $1 billion of medical debt. And the medical industry itself is about $1 trillion industry. A trillion. Do you know how many zeros that is? Okay. So even if we're looking at a billion, we're talking about 10 zeros with a comma. Okay. We are talking about 10 zeros. That is why it's so crucial for us to understand that if we really are serious about changing our financial future and the things that are appearing on our credit, then we got to stop today, right now, today, and begin to ask ourselves, are we really taking care of our health? Are we really going to have a healthy wallet that's going to equal a healthy life? How can you have a healthy life without a healthy body? You can't do it. So stop lying to yourself. Stop fooling yourself to believe that you can keep going at the rate that you've been going. You can keep doing what you always did, and you're still going to get the same results that you got back in the day. Because the truth of the matter is, it's impossible. You cannot continue to do the same thing thinking that you're going to get the same result if you are not the same age and your body is not in the same condition. Now, I know that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting that you're going to get a different result. So you figure out if you are insane or not. That part. That's all I want to talk about today. I want us to really begin to focus on not so much of the lump sums of money that we owe, not so much of the utilities that we have to maintain and recycle, but we need to really begin to focus on the root of it all. The root of it all is our own well being. How well do you take care of your health? If you've learned something from today's message, I ask that you would go ahead and put your comment below. Make sure that you are subscribed and that you share. We are Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. We are located at 1320 Main Street, right here in Columbia, South Carolina. We can be contacted at 844-522-7552. And if you get in today, you can also get in on our Financial Dominion Masters class that's coming up soon. We will give you the details if you give us a call. Listen, we are powered by the CTR Media Network. This is a network where we are streaming to billions all across the world in over 140 countries. That's right. We are everywhere. Kingdom Builders is literally a whole country of people that where we share the wealth and of the finances and the wealth of the credit to the entire earth. So thank you for watching. We will see you every Friday from 12:30 to 1 with the new topic around getting your life together financially and with your credit. Thank you again for being here, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everyone.